Hello, teachers, parents, and educational leaders, and welcome to this episode of Breaking Down the B.E.S.T. Now, during this episode, you will get a peek into the members-only area where I have tons of resources to help you make math fun, make it click, and make it stick. There should be a link somewhere around this video where you can learn more. All right, now that we got that out of the way, let's get to it, and let's break down the standard. Welcome to Breaking Down the B.E.S.T, a video series dedicated to breaking down Florida's B.E.S.T standards for math. So grab something to write with and maybe even a snack. This looks good. And don't forget to put a smile on your face. There you go, I see you. And let's dive into today's B.E.S.T standard. Hello everybody and welcome. My name is Sarah McCarthy. I'm the creator of McCarthy Math Academy, and I'm super grateful that you are choosing to spend some time with me as we break down today's B.E.S.T standards. I know that you're busy, so I'm going to jump right in. Today, the standard that we are working on is MA.5.NSO.2.3. MA stands for Math, 5 for 5th grade, NSO means number sense and operations, and then we're on 2.3. So this document that I'm marking up all over today is definitely not something that I created. The Florida Department of Education provides this resource to the public, and I'm just showing you how I take what they provide to clarify the standard to help me create resources that are specifically aligned to these standards. So let's go through and break this one down. This standard says to add, or subtract multi-digit numbers with decimals to the thousandths. Meaning if here is the decimal, we've got the tenths, hundredths, and thousandths place. That's what we'll go to with this standard. Including using a standard algorithm with procedural fluency. Procedural fluency is kind of considered the third step. First, we have them explore adding and subtracting numbers with decimals, and then we start to show different strategies that we can use to solve that. And finally, we're at the procedural fluency level where students are able to select a strategy that works for them and be able to use it in an awesome way. Next up are the horizontal alignment benchmarks, or the related benchmarks. In other words, benchmarks that are in 5th grade that align with this one, and kind of show the importance of learning 2.3 today because it applies to other standards. So MA.5.NSO.2.3 is our rounding decimal numbers. So that's important because we are going to also practice using estimation with these first to determine if our answer is reasonable. These AR standards right there involve numerical expressions, order of operations, and such. 5.M.2.1 is our money problems, more money, more problems. 5.GR.2.1, these are the, it will relate in a way that is talking about perimeter, an area with fractional and decimal side lengths, so we'll be adding decimals there too. And then I always like to know, where are they coming from? What should they be coming up with? But also remembering that as of creating this video of breaking down the B.E.S.T, this is our first year of implementation with these B.E.S.T standards, so students might not be coming up with all of the skills because they may not have been taught them last year. But the 4th grade standard that aligns to this one is, or standards rather, is MA.4.NSO.2.6 and 2.7, and this is where we are adding and subtracting with decimal numbers. And then next year they'll be going to 6th grade and they'll have to know how to solve multi-step problems with decimals and fractions. Okay, so you can kind of see where this standard falls into their journey in education. Next up is the purpose and instructional strategies section. So this provides a lot of clarification to the standard, and I'm just going to highlight some things that jumped out at me. It said here that in 4th grade, with the 2.7 standard right there, students explored the addition and subtraction of multi-digit numbers with decimals to the hundredths using money and manipulatives. And right here I jotted down a note that if you have a membership that has access to all 3 grade levels, if you're a 5th grade teacher with access to the 4th grade content as well, you can go back to the 4th grade, find this standard and say, okay, well this aligns to what I need them to know, but it's a great foundational skill to activate some knowledge and then line that up with what they need to know in 5th grade. Okay? Here I also said that students should estimate reasonable solutions before solving, which we will do in taking on the B.E.S.T. I was intentional about that part. Here, after studying a few of these standards back to back, I noticed that this section has been covered in other standards, and I just said, are they just copying and pasting here? I don't know, but it is important, especially this part right here, engaging in error analysis activities. This will go with the math misconception mystery videos, and I'll show you where those are located in just a moment. I love looking down here at the tasks and the items because it allows me to understand what they are wanting these standards to look like in action, right? So here they actually gave you the word form 802 and 46 thousandths and 309 tenths. 309 tenths. So, and they're supposed to find the difference of that. So they're incorporating the word form, which is MA.5.NSO.2.3, which is awesome because they're showing, I know that in creating the B.E.S.T standards, the intention was for these standards to be able to be interwoven, to be mixed together, so that students get not an isolated skill, but they can understand what's going on there. So that's really cool. And then here, finding the sum and difference of these two would be a typical item that they would see. And that's the next standard. So we're done there. Let me show you what you have access to with your membership. So let's do that. All right. So when you are on the main page, McCarthy Math Academy, you can just go to Members, enter here, or at the tab up top. Click on Taking on the B.E.S.T. We are in 5th grade NSO, and we're looking for the standard NSO.2.3, addition and subtraction with decimals. Click that, and it will take you to the page that you need. So these are your bronze level resources. At the bronze level, you get these video lessons and the printable student guides right there. And we have 2 lessons here. We have addition with decimals using standard algorithm and subtraction with decimals using standard algorithm. And if you do have, I can show you real quick. I just want to show you real quick that if you went to the 4th grade version that's listed in those documents, that you could find that standard that they were talking about, NSO.2.7, adding and subtracting numbers with decimals. This is the 4th grade version, but it does provide that vertical alignment. So if you need to click here, if you have access to 4th grade as well, you can go here and eventually it'll load. And you can see that it's broken down into more of a concrete understanding. We're using base 10 blocks, money, and standard algorithm for both addition and subtraction. So if you need some help with that, you can click that too. Or if you need to upgrade so you can have access to all 3, you can absolutely let me know. All right, so those were your, this is back to the 5th grade now. I'm gonna click down to the silver plan. If you have access to the silver plan, this page will load. If you do not, that means that you're part of the bronze resource, that you have the bronze package. All right, so with the silver package, you can go back to those bronze resources, and then you have your printables, your answer keys, and this is where your math misconception mystery video is for this standard. I'm gonna click the printables, and I've just packaged everything together so it's easy for you to download and print. And we have, for this video, this is the video lesson, you can tell by the icon. And as you can see, it says to estimate the sum, then use a standard algorithm based on place value to solve, aligned completely with that standard. We will practice estimating first to determine a reasonable answer, and then actually solve it here, and then connect it back to our estimation. Okay, so 2 examples there, and then there's extra practice. Same kind of thing as the video lesson, just now they get to practice independently. Another video lesson with subtraction. Again, we estimate first, then solve, and then practice. This is the math mission. So this is where we are taking the entire standard and putting it into a math task. So usually they're a multi-part question. Part 1, Misha runs 2 100-meter races. She completes her first race in this many seconds, 10 and 619 thousandths seconds. Whew. She completes her second race 78 hundredths of a second slower. Ooh, so they need to know what's going on with that. So that actually increases her time, right? What was her time for her second race? Explain the answer. And then here there's another part to the question too. So you can see it's taking what they've learned and it's throwing it into a real world situation as a math task, or a math mission is what I call it. Then we have the math misconception mystery. This goes with this video right here. This is the problem that your students will solve, and I walk you through the whole process in the video. First, your students will solve the problem either on their own or with a group, whatever you decide. And then they'll watch as 4 characters, which are really just me dressed up into silly costumes. 4 characters will solve the problem. 3 of them will make a mistake that students tend to make with these kind of questions, and only 1 has the most reasonable answer. So it's great for error analysis and just making sense of it. Definitely not something that you want to play at the very beginning of a unit with this skill, but at the end, when they feel confident with it, they have a lot of fun with this. Great, great, great. So here's where they would put where the most reasonable answer, who the most reasonable answer belongs to and why, and then we help out the other characters here with what did they do that was correct, what was their error, what do they need to know for next time. All right, so those are your silver resources, and if you have the gold package, the gold plan, you can click there and then this page will populate. If not, then you do not have access to the gold plan. We've got a mini assessment. One of the perks of having a gold membership is that you get these breaking down the best videos ad-free, and they're right in there so you can take a look at it and learn about the standard. But these are available on other platforms, so that's cool. The perk is just that it's right there. The main difference between the gold and the silver is that you also get these mini assessments. To show what you know, and I know that you probably have access to mini assessments or assessments through your county, but this is just some extra practice if you choose to use it, or a practice test to make sure that they've got it. However you want to use it. It doesn't even say mini assessment, it just says show what you know. So that's cool. And then your answer key is right there. I'm not going to click that. You can take a look at that. And the McCarthy Math 155. This is the series that I created that was aligned to the Common Core standards. So when I was analyzing the best standards, I was like, you know what? McCarthy Math 155 is not going to support you fully, but I had a lot of schools and a lot of teachers who still wanted to use it. So that's why I made it part of the gold package. The 155 stands for 155 video lessons that you have access to here. And if we click that and go to 5th grade, there is, I'm going to scroll down to operations with decimals. You can see adding and subtracting numbers with decimals. It aligns with this standard. So you have access to even more videos. Let's see. Adding and subtracting numbers with decimals. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 extra video lessons to practice. So if you have students who are really struggling, you can come to McCarthy Math 155 and use these resources, the videos. Sorry, there's a loud machine outside. Use the videos and the printable guides to help get your students up to where they need to be for this standard. Okay? All right, so that's it for breaking down today's standard and also showing you the resources that are strategically aligned to that standard. If you have any questions, please let me know, but I'm going to go ahead and close out this video by reminding you that what you choose to do with your life, it really does matter. You matter, your students matter, and I just want to thank you for all that you do for your students. I know that this is an extremely tough profession to be in. And it's hard because we might not ever know how we are impacting the lives of our students. We might not see where they end up, but we have to choose to believe that what we're doing matters, and it's helping them to step into the best versions of themselves. So thank you so much for all that you do, and I will see you in an episode real soon. Bye. Okay, so I know that I just said goodbye for now, but I'm gonna ask you to do one more thing, okay? If you enjoyed this episode, please consider sharing it with your teacher friends or other leaders in education. That's how I get to continue doing what I love to do, which of course is supporting you all to the best of my ability. All right, for real now. Bye.